Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks visiting Steph Curry and the Warriors. Hawks coming off a close win in Sacramento on Monday. There would be no such luck in this game. Best shooter in the world, Steph Curry. Little head fake to get a clean look. Golden State leading by 6. Curry here, this is just nonsense. Falling. Might have walked. They're never calling that. It's fine. Curry daps up the youngster. Oh my God, that's Steph Curry. You're the coolest kid in school. Warriors rolling. Woo! Andrew Wiggins all alone. It's a 25-point lead at the half. Dubs rolling in the third off the Atlanta miss. Curry, again, outlet. Wiggins, 27 and 7 boards. Golden State up 31. Again, his defense to offense. Curry going to pull from 3? No. Little bounce pass to Gary Payton the second. Curry, 8 assists to go with 23 points. Golden State wins by 20. And it's like, you mess around and you hit New Year and you're in the bottom of the East. You got a problem. And they are the worst in the East right now. Golden State is the best in the West. Steve Kerr trying to reimagine and reinvent. You and I touched on this a little bit when you were here with me in studio. What's most impressed you about the way they've assembled talent and the way that talent is becoming cohesive on the floor?
Well, first of all, I look at this team and say, I didn't think they could ever get back to their roots as a top 5 defensive team in the league. And that's really where they were annually when they were winning championships and contending. I didn't think they'd get back there. They play really small lineups. They have made some nice additions, but for the most part, it's a lot of the same core we've seen over the last few years. So you don't typically see teams be able to crank it up to that level again. And the reason, Scott, they've been able to do it is because Steve Kerr is playing so many people. I look at this team defensively, and I just was out there and saw them against Memphis, and they're swarming, and they're fast, and they're switchable, and they have great communication, and they're fresh. I mean, this team is in first place in the Western Conference. No one is playing more than 29 minutes a game, including Steph Curry. And by the way, Steph Curry's numbers, by his standards, are pretty pedestrian so far this year. He's had some moments, but they haven't even needed Steph Curry to go for 32 a night to keep their head above water. This has a different feel to it. So it's been refreshing to watch, and it surprised me, I think, that they've been this good defensively. And I think the rotation he's using took some flack for it at first. I think I was skeptical as well. It's working for them, particularly defensively. And then Buddy Hield has given them a great infusion of offense, which is exactly what they needed to replace what Klay Thompson was at his peak.
11-3 Warriors. Staying out west for you. Be a blast to watch Dallas-Denver Friday night. Speaking of Dallas, Tim, I'd be remiss if we didn't share the Commander Legler look and ask just sort of how prepared you are for this visit from Dallas, Washington's most hated rival in the NFL.
Never been more nervous in my life for a game. I'm telling you right now. I don't like what's going on right now with this team. Jaden Daniels, I don't know if he's banged up still. I don't know, man. I'm worried. It looks like it should be an easy win the way they look. I'm very, very nervous, Scott, as I get ready for Sunday. It's going to be a big one. Our season is on the line. That's all that we're playing for.
In honor of a fellow Washington fan, my buddy Steve Sands, who you know as well, he would tell you what I'll tell you. Tim, keep your poise. Just take a deep breath and relax, all right? It's going to be okay, all right? There we go. Just like that.
Yeah, good advice. Good advice.
All right. Tim Legler, the Sixers have played only about 16% of their season, all right? So they've got runway left. But I do think that looking at that 2-12 record, and given the injuries and the issues, it's certainly been enough time to say that this is clearly a mess. I'm interested in if you think this is something that can be sorted out in the amount of time that they've got left.
Scott, I'm getting to the point where I'm not sure this is going to be survivable. And look, you saw it again tonight. Paul George gets hurt. Joel Embiid got hurt. It looked serious at first. He comes back into the game, so that's a great sign. But now Paul George is going to miss some more time. Same injury he had in the preseason. Tyrese Maxey just coming back. You know, at some point, you don't just need to have guys out there that you expected. You need to have guys out there for a prolonged stretch so they can start to develop the kind of rhythm you need. They're not going to get completely buried in the Eastern Conference the way they would in the West. But it's getting to the point where, number one, I've lost expectation that they will stay healthy. And I'm also concerned about some of the things that I've heard from Nick Nurse this year that doesn't have to do with health. When he talks about getting outworked or a team being tougher, or when I interviewed him earlier this year when I called one of his games, he said they get dispirited very easily when things go against them in the course of a game, basically saying we don't fight through adversity very well. Those don't have anything to do with who's playing for you. So I am concerned that at some point you look at this and say, I don't care what you have at the top of your roster in terms of talent, if it takes this long to get it going, and who knows when we'll finally get all these guys out there for a while, it might not be a season.
Good basketball this season, 15 points, 4 rebounds, but draw that assignment defensively, whether it's James Harden, Trae Young, he's doing it at a high level right now.
Yeah, they made great adjustments from the Clipper loss to tonight. They made their free throws. I thought their individual and team defense was locked in. At halftime, only 5 turnovers. They wanted 15, but the majority of the game, they really took good care of the basketball. I was going to ask Andrew Wiggins. So now this team is, what are they, 11-3?
11-3.
Okay, they got a top 5 offense, a top 5 defense, and Andrew Wiggins looks like he's back to 2022. Andrew Wiggins, both offensively and defensively, and it's starting to feel like one of those deep playoff teams to me.
I mean, tonight was really a great testament to the Warriors' resilience because this game was a sleeper. The Atlanta Hawks came in. It looked like they shot their load against the Sacramento Kings. It was one of those games. They played extremely hard against the Kings, and they came in tonight, and it was really low energy in the building. So the Warriors did a great job staying poised. Yep. Defense was great. Made their free throws, like you said. Biggest number that I love, the adjustment is the turnovers. Maybe got a little loose at the end there, but still 15 turnovers. Give up 7 points from those 15 turnovers. Did a great job in transition defense. That defense was spectacular.
Well, and I go back to, we used to hear the word connectivity. And Festus, you asked Mike Dunleavy pregame about Jerry Stackhouse and Terry Stotts.
Yes.
Right? So Steve Kerr, Terry Stackhouse, attention to detail, but the play is following through with the professional effort tonight. The Hawks didn't show up, let's be honest. Yeah. But it did not affect the Warriors' performance, and they made those adjustments for the last game's loss. Right away, next game, they made the adjustments. That's the sign of a professional, good basketball team.
We discussed the slow starts for the Golden State Warriors in the first quarter, one of the bottom 5 teams in the league when it comes to first quarter points, but you did not have to worry about that tonight. They came out and jumped all over the Atlanta Hawks, 41-22 in that first quarter. They shot 60% from the floor, made 6 threes, scored 7 points off those turnovers committed by the Atlanta Hawks.
Finish, big fella.
Got that big finish right there. The Warriors went on a 24-4 run in this frame, Fezzy Fell.
Great offense, great ball movement, knowing that the Atlanta Hawks are going to come out and pressure the Warriors, trying to get steals early in the game.
Ball movement, body movement, threes, layups, backdoors, dunks. Everything they had going, Bonte.
Yeah, Buddy Hield and J.K., 14 points off the bench combined in that first quarter.
Ooh,
Buddy Hield had a roll over. Look at that move by DeAndre Hunter, who's a very good defender. Buddy Hield with 8 points in that frame, 3 of 3 from the floor. The Warriors commit only 1 turnover in the first quarter, and more importantly, in that first quarter, they made their free throws. They were 5 of 6, so they took care of business early, and all it was about was holding on to that lead, Fezzy, because we always said, you guys always said, the worst thing in the NBA game is getting down to a big lead, but the Warriors did not relinquish it at all tonight.
Yeah, early lead in the NBA is the kiss of death because it's human nature. You just relax and you stop playing defense. You let some balls, some turnovers. I thought the Warriors did a great job, especially in the second half. They got that 20-point lead in the second quarter, but in the second half, they came in. The Atlanta Hawks tried to make a run. They tried to pressure the ball a little bit more, but the Warriors were unrelenting. Draymond Green was great on the defensive end. He just kept, I saw him sprint back a few times, go get a block shot. Even after a turnover, they did not let up on the ball.
Yeah, the only thing worse than being up 20 in the first quarter is being down 20 in the first quarter. But as Festus said, the Warriors, they were consistent with their effort, with their approach, taking care of the basketball, getting shots on goal. So I thought from start to finish, a really good effort, especially after a disappointing loss in L.A.
All right, but sharing is caring, right? We know the Warriors are at their best when they're moving the basketball around. And in that first half, when they built their big lead, 21 first half assists.
Yeah.
They finished the game with 36 assists. So the ball was hopping around, and they lead the NBA with 30.5 assists per game, Fezzy.
I mean, Bonte, fundamentals is, for the Warriors, is going back to this easy ball movement. Steph Curry gets doubled, hits the big man, TJD. I mean, him GP2, Kyle Anderson. I love this play. The great ball screen with TJD, with TJD and Draymond, and getting the lob. It seemed like they were really locked in offensively, getting the ball to exactly where it needed to be.
Yeah, you see so many of those clips that blow them by these Atlanta defenders to get to the paint to create either lob dunks, and once you get working in the paint, the threes open up. They made 47 field goals, 14 made threes, and as you just mentioned, Bonte, they made their free throws and took care of the basketball. That's a total effort.
Draymond Green nearly dropped a triple-double, 9 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. Again, Andrew Wiggins with 4 assists. Stephen Curry, we didn't hear much about him, a quiet 23 points, but also 8 assists, a quiet 23, right? But the Hawks felt Stephen Curry. They felt his gravity. And really the Warriors, that first half was what the story was all about tonight. In the first half, 21 assists, as I just mentioned here. They shot the ball well, and they defended at a high level against the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, I mean...
Welcome back to Warriors News, your go-to channel for all things Golden State. What a game it was last night as the Warriors hosted the Atlanta Hawks at Chase Center. After a close win against the Sacramento Kings, the Hawks entered this matchup with some momentum. However, the Warriors had other plans, delivering a dominant performance from start to finish. Let's dive into the details and break it all down. The game started with a bang as the Warriors jumped out to an early lead, outscoring the Hawks 41-22 in the first quarter. It was a clinic in offensive efficiency, with Golden State shooting an incredible 60% from the floor in the opening frame. The ball movement was fluid, the defense was suffocating, and every Warrior on the floor contributed. Stephen Curry, the best shooter in the world, had another magical night. From his insane three-pointers to precise assists, he was at his best, finishing with 23 points and 8 assists. One highlight that stood out was Curry's ridiculous shot while falling. It seemed almost unfair. He even took time to dab up a young fan courtside, reminding us all why he's such a beloved figure on and off the court. Andrew Wiggins looked like his 2022 Finals MVP caliber self, putting up 27 points and grabbing 7 boards. His ability to transition from defense to offense was crucial in maintaining the Warriors' rhythm throughout the game. It's clear that Wiggins is rediscovering his groove, making this team even more dangerous. The bench also deserves a shout-out, with Gary Payton II and Buddy Hield making significant contributions. Hield's shooting touch and Payton's defensive hustle were key in holding off any Hawks comeback attempts. Speaking of defense, the Warriors have truly stepped up this season, returning to their roots as one of the league's top defensive squads. Draymond Green was a defensive maestro, orchestrating plays and showing why he's the heart of this team. Even when the Hawks tried to pressure the ball in the second half, the Warriors stayed composed, thanks to Green's leadership and the team's overall focus. One major improvement this game? The Warriors cut down on turnovers and capitalized on their free throw opportunities. These are the small adjustments that championship-caliber teams make, and it's exciting to see Golden State hitting their stride early in the season. With this commanding victory, the Warriors improved their record to 11-3, solidifying their place at the top of the Western Conference. It's clear that Steve Kerr's strategy of rotating players and keeping everyone fresh is paying off. The team is cohesive, disciplined, and playing with a level of confidence we haven't seen since their last championship run. As for the Hawks, they struggled to match the energy and efficiency of the Warriors. After a strong performance against Sacramento, this game exposed some of Atlanta's weaknesses, especially when facing elite teams like Golden State. So, what do you think, Dub Nation? Are the Warriors proving they're the team to beat in the West this season? Which player impressed you the most in this game? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the analysis and subscribe to Warriors News for more game breakdowns and the latest updates. Turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Let's keep the conversation going. Go Warriors!